On the 11th of February, the County Council is going to pass its budget for the coming year. It will also outline its proposed cuts for 2017-18 financial year. The proposed cuts come to about £34.5 million for this coming year, and then a further £38.5 million in the year after. That means that in 2017-18, Suffolk County Council will be trying to run services with £73 million less to spend than they would have had if they just maintained the services we've got at the moment. Even for a council budget as big as the county's, which is 446 million for the coming year, that is a massive cut. But actually, I don't believe the figures themselves mean that much to most people. What really matters, what people can see and feel and which hurts them directly, are the things which have become unavailable or too expensive or too cut back to be worthwhile anymore. Up and down our county, people are worried about their elderly parents or spouses, or in some cases children, who are unable to get safe, affordable care when they need it, in a care home or in their own home. And more people are being stuck in hospital, sometimes for weeks on end, because they have no places to go to. Too many of our children are in schools which are not able to give them a decent level of education. Young people are unable to get the training or further education, or to get to them because they can't afford to get to college or there are no buses. There are parents in parts of Suffolk who could have had advice on the benefits they're entitled to, or on the health of their babies, or on feeding, or on reading to their small children, who will not now get that help because their local children's centre is being closed. And now the remaining rural bus services are threatened. Dial-a-ride and other community transport schemes are due to be slashed in half. Libraries are threatened with cuts to their staff and their books, and eventually to possible closure of some libraries. People are being charged to have their brown bins emptied. And perhaps worst of all, the fire service is being cut way below anything we thought possible. And it really doesn't have to be like this. Suffolk is a naturally prosperous county. We have beautiful countryside, rich farmland, friendly, welcoming, well-built villages and towns, intelligent, hard-working residents, world-class businesses in food and drink, in transport, in IT and telecoms. And on top of all that, a small but growing population of London commuters who also contribute financially to the county. If everyone who needs them can get safe, effective care services, people will be healthier and more independent for longer, and we will save in hospital costs. If our education and training are improved, our young people will move on to the responsible, productive jobs which they are capable of, with a decent level of public transport and with safer walking and cycling routes and improvements to our roads, such as the third crossing in Lowestoft. We can reduce congestion, and we'll be able to spend more time contributing constructively to society and more time enjoying ourselves and less time sat in traffic jams. And in a society where we can look forward to how we can make life better for all, rather than having to think about what cuts we're going to make next. Our vitality and mental health and environment can all improve, and dynamic and creative young people will want to stay in our county and not move to other parts of the country. The national government has a lot to answer for. The level of cuts imposed on local authorities is completely unjustifiable. Even in their own terms, they're storing up additional costs for themselves because the councils are the ones that do most of the preventative work. But even within that framework of national cuts, the Tories running Suffolk County Council do not need to make all the cuts that they are making. In 2010, the county's reserves stood at about £77 million. On the 31st of March last year, they had reached £177 million. That is why we will be proposing an amendment to the budget on Thursday the 11th, which will reverse the worst of the Tory cuts by gradually and sensibly withdrawing a small part of the hugely inflated reserves the Tories have been salting away. Will we win? I don't know. But it won't be for want of trying.